Jumping right into today's recipe video, we're starting with breakfast and then we're moving on to lunch and dinner. Now, technically, these are budget-friendly options, but this first one, maybe not so much right now, but soon it will be. This is an egg bake. I'm obsessed with these. However, egg prices have been like off the charts recently. So if you have your own chickens, this is going to be perfect for you. But egg prices are coming back down. If you haven't noticed, maybe in your area, they're like half the price this week that they were last week in my area. So I have faith that right in time for Easter, right when everybody dyes their Easter eggs, they're coming back down. First things first, smash that thumbs up button, make sure you're subscribed, and let's jump into today's recipes. Like I'm putting across the screen, if the ideas I'm sharing, you're like, ooh, I don't love that ingredient, swap it for something else. There's nothing ever permanent, ever. And I'm going to overlay some little tips and tricks over the screen as well. Yes, cutting and chopping is tedious. However, you save a lot of money doing so. So it's really just like if you want to swap your time for that money, because time is valuable. I say this all the time. Sometimes I go for the convenient option because my time is valuable to me, and it just really depends on the week, how much time I have to meal prep, how much time I have to get things done. My weeks, my days fluctuate. I have a baby, so sometimes you just gotta make things do. All right, so this first thing, like I said, is an egg bake or a crustless quiche. That's kind of what I kind of term it as. Crustless quiche, because I did work at a coffee shop all through college, and I always worked like the 5 to 1 or the 6 to 2 shift, and we would make crustless quiche in the morning, different kinds, just depending on like what was available in the market that day. And our market, aka, was our fridge. Anyways, we had a different base in this. We used a lot of heavy cream in ours. I don't use heavy cream in mine. But I can remember that recipe like the back of my hand. It is so strange when you make something so many times, how you can just like recall it. They also made this Hungarian mushroom soup that was to die for. They as in us. We made that every day. We made some kind of crustless quiche. We also made a crusted quiche. Both were very, very popular. What else do we make every day? This chicken salad. Oh my gosh. And popovers. Do you guys know what popovers are? Love them. Hate to make them. Washing popover pan. Ugh. Not my fan. Not my biggest fanfare. Okay. Anyways, if you saw, I got the mushroom sweating with the onion. I just used a little bit of onion, and then we're cracking the eggs. Of course, like I said, this is super budget friendly when eggs are quote unquote a great price. Like I said, I have faith they're coming back down. Let me know down in the comments below, what are egg prices in your area? They got to like $1 an egg here, which is like, what craziness. Do you guys remember back in 2020 when like a dozen eggs cost like 75 cents? For real though. I don't know if it was that cheap, but it felt like it. I think at one point I remember paying less than $1 for a dozen eggs, but it was before 2020 because I didn't eat eggs in 2020. I don't know. Anyways, popping a lot of spinach in there. Frozen spinach, another great way to go because it is super inexpensive. It's a lot of people leave me comments saying like, oh, you shouldn't eat frozen vegetables. Here's my take on frozen vegetables. They're picked at peak and then frozen. So all those nutrients are locked in, and then they're packaged, and then they're shipped. Something about me when I think about it is more inclined to buy a packaged frozen vegetable than a fresh vegetable that's been sitting out in open air where people have touched it, where germs are dropping on it. You know what I mean? Like in the produce section, when I really think about it, I don't want to buy fresh produce. And I'm sorry if I just went there. But I had a lot of comments. I remember about a little over a year ago, I asked you all if you try produce in the produce section, because I saw this TikTok where this lady literally was eating the grapes. And I was so grossed out by it. I have bought grapes since, but for a long time I didn't. Okay. Anyways, this is going in the oven, 350 for about 40 minutes or until completely baked all the way through. You can add any kind of seasonings you want. Makes 8 to 10 servings, just depending, or even 6 servings, depending on what you want. Great recipe. Add some peppers to it. All right, moving on. We are going to do overnight oats. Now, this is just one single recipe. I would actually add protein to this nowadays, but just another idea. If you are not an egg person, you want to do oatmeal, super inexpensive. I also got bulk nuts back in the day. I haven't bought bulk nuts in a long time, but I added 2 tablespoons of walnuts. Great amount of omegas, different I mean, walnuts are fabulous for you if you can eat them. Plus, at this time, I don't think I could have peanuts, or I was just learning that I could. Anyways, that's neither here or there. And then add a fruit. I just did water instead of milk, made it super budget friendly. I know the nuts, quote unquote, aren't budget friendly, but if you can find them in bulk, they typically are. Swap it for raisins, swap it for a scoop of peanut butter, add some fruit. This time I did a banana. Bananas are super inexpensive. And then I just pop this in my refrigerator, and you have a quick overnight oat. Literally takes 15 seconds to make, super budget friendly. You can add anything you want to it, and it's actually so nutritious and healthy and good for you. And you have a super inexpensive breakfast that literally takes no time at all. And you can reheat it if you want to. Completely up to you. All right, one of my all-time favorite things is to take veggies and pasta and hummus and make it a meal. If you take brown rice, hummus, and even add a bean to this meal, like a white bean, chef's kiss, so good. It's not in this recipe. I did olives instead, but this is like a really good spring summer meal. And since we're coming back around to spring or summer, I wanted to share this as a favorite. Now, some of these ingredients that I'm sharing in this recipe are not quote unquote budget friendly. You can get a cheaper hummus, you can get a cheaper pasta. I went with brown rice. You could get just regular pasta. If you want to amp up the protein in even more, go high protein pasta. But these are just like a reshare, if you will. And I'm giving you some ideas if you've never seen these videos before, but also I'm just sharing some favorites. One of the best things about adding veggies, pasta, and hummus, unlimited possibilities. Unlimited. You can add so many different kind of vegetables, roasted, fresh, literally tomatoes, peppers, onions, mushrooms, cucumbers. There's endless possibilities because there's so many different vegetables. We made a pasta eggplant hummus, not eggplant hummus, but like we added like roasted eggplant and then just a classic hummus a couple of weeks ago. I have that recipe filmed, but it's not edited yet. Oh my gosh, it was so good. So if you've never done hummus and pasta, this is your sign to do it. Again, this is more of like a Mediterranean style. I really wanted something light for summer. When I was looking at my recipe binder, I was like, you know what? I need to share this recipe again because someone needs to see this. Add some avocado. I wouldn't add the avocado when I'm making it. I would chop up the avocado and add it right before I ate it, or some feta cheese would be really good. Again, you don't have to use this kind of pasta. You can use any kind you want. Really, it's fabulous. Also, if you are chilling your brown rice pasta, your chickpea pasta, your high protein pasta, this recipe I am making chilled because I like a cold pasta salad here and there. I would actually stop cooking it about 1.5 to 2 minutes before it's completely done. And then I would rinse it really, really well. Before I'm adding everything back into the pot, let it sit cool for a few minutes, just because it will kind of stop the cooking process and then it won't get mealy, especially if you're using like a gluten-free or brown rice pasta or something like that. It tends to get a little mealy. Doesn't this look so good? So creamy. I know a lot of people call this like dairy-free Alfredo. I won't quite go that far saying it tastes like that. It literally tastes like hummus. But add some white beans to this. Ooh, that sounds so good. I might go downstairs and see if we have all these ingredients and make this for lunch. Again, feta cheese, some beans, make a high protein pasta. You're going to have like 20, 25 grams of protein if you add all those things just in a serving. All right, this is a throwback, and I needed to share this once again. Super inexpensive. Green beans, tofu. We're making a buffalo style tofu. If you don't like tofu, you could use tempeh, you could use boca burgers, you can use anything you like more. I know I use a lot of tofu, and people will say in the comments, like, I don't like tofu, I don't like tofu. It's, one, it's super inexpensive. Two, it's really high in protein. Three, it's really, really easy to make, and you can make it, once I've learned to make it how I like it, you can make it any flavor, and that's like a win for me. The really great thing about this meal, you just throw it on a pan. Yes, frozen vegetables you can throw on a pan and roast them. They roast really, really well. They roast faster than fresh vegetables because I think of the liquid that comes with them when they're frozen. Anyways, add some nutritional yeast, and then we're going to make a little concoction here for our tofu to make it a little bit crunchy. One of the things for me is tofu has to be like a little bit crunchy on the outside. It has to have a lot of flavor. So I would say keep playing with it, even if you're like, oh, I'm on the fence, I don't love it. This is dried onion, by the way. Also very, very good with green beans, especially roasted or pan fried. If you're like, man, I just don't know about tofu, extra firm is the way to go. Make it crunchy on the outside, Always eat it hot. Air fry it if you have to. Baked is really good in my opinion because it gets it really crunchy. And then when you reheat it, I usually reheat it in the stovetop. It stays crunchy. Hopefully that makes sense. All right, cutting it in like semi-even little squares here. And then I added the buffalo sauce, Frank's buffalo sauce, and cornstarch. Oh my gosh, the two of them together. This is making me so hungry. I haven't eaten lunch yet, you guys, and I had a really great workout this morning. I just had a protein shake and like a little bit of breakfast. Actually, I had overnight oats for breakfast. So that recipe kind of like, the recipe I shared basically, but I had peanut butter instead of walnuts and I added a scoop of protein. So yeah, anyways, mix up the buffalo sauce with the cornstarch, dip your tofu inside, and this will make it really crunchy. And then you just throw it in the oven. I believe I baked it for 425 until the green beans were done, so about 25-30 minutes. You can also throw it in the air fryer. You don't have to measure the cornstarch slash buffalo sauce. You can just kind of eyeball it. If you need to make a little more, great. If you make too much, you can drizzle it on the green beans or on the tofu. But the tofu gets really, really crunchy whenever you add cornstarch. And then you can add really any seasoning you want. You want to do if you don't like buffalo sauce, do barbecue. Don't like barbecue, do honey mustard. Don't like honey mustard, do ranch. You get what I'm saying? Like literally anything you would toss a wing in, toss the tofu in. Maybe this would be like your gateway into trying tofu because a lot of people, like I said, follow me and they're like, oh, I don't like tofu. That's okay if you don't like it. I do. I use it. I try to share meals that we make here at our house because I try to be really, really helpful with my content. And again, not every ingredient everyone's going to love, but hopefully it'll give you an idea for your own kitchen. If you have a question for me, leave it down below. I love hearing from you all, and I've been trying really hard to get back to comments. I get a lot of comments about like, man, you're really, really busy. You work full time and you have a husband and a baby and you're editing. Like, yeah, I found an editor for a lot of my videos, which is really helpful. But I am showing up for at least one edit every single week, which is nice. So that way I'm like here with you. Well, I'm always doing the voiceovers, but that way I'm here with you in real time. Anyways, yes, I'm a very busy, productive person. I'm a very go, go, go person. I like to make our food. I like to clean my house. I like to take care of everybody. And I hope you take some kind of encouragement away from every single video that I share. I appreciate you guys showing up, especially as I said that I was going to be here more often. And I just wanted to say thank you. So I'd love to hear from you down below. Leave me a comment and I'll see you soon in a new video. Bye.